Imagine driving home on a quiet night, the stars shining above, when suddenly a strange light appears in the sky. It follows you, growing closer and closer, until you realize it's not a plane or a star, it's something you can't explain. This is exactly what happened to Betty and Barney Hill in 1961, and their story remains one of the most chilling and mysterious accounts of an alien encounter ever told. It was September 19, 1961, and the Hills were driving back to their home in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, after a relaxing vacation in Canada. The night was calm, the roads were empty, and the couple was enjoying the peaceful drive through the White Mountains. But as they approached the town of Lancaster, Betty noticed a bright light in the sky. At first, she thought it might be a star or a planet, but as they kept driving, the light began to move in ways that defied logic. It wasn't following the smooth, predictable path of an airplane or satellite, it was darting, stopping, and changing direction in ways that made no sense. Barney, ever the skeptic, tried to brush it off, but as the light grew larger and brighter, even he couldn't ignore the growing sense that something was very wrong. Curiosity soon turned to fear when Barney pulled over to get a better look. Armed with a pair of binoculars, he stepped out of the car and trained his gaze on the mysterious object. What he saw would haunt him for the rest of his life. The light wasn't just a light, it was a massive, silent craft hovering in the air. Through the binoculars, Barney could see windows, and inside those windows, he claimed to see humanoid figures staring back at him. The beings were unlike anything he had ever seen, small, with grayish skin, large, dark eyes, and expressionless faces. Panic set in as Barney realized this was no ordinary aircraft. He rushed back to the car, shouting at Betty to drive away as fast as possible. The couple sped down the highway, but the craft didn't disappear. It followed them, keeping pace with their car, until suddenly, they heard a series of strange beeping sounds. After that, everything went blank. When the Hills finally arrived home, they were shaken and confused. They couldn't explain why the trip had taken so long, and when they checked the clock, they realized 2 hours of their journey were missing. It was as if time itself had been erased. Betty's dress was torn, Barney's shoes were scuffed, and their car had odd, unexplained marks. Something had happened during those missing hours, but neither of them could remember what. Troubled by the experience, the couple decided to seek help. They visited a psychiatrist named Dr. Benjamin Simon, who used hypnosis to help them recover their lost memories. What they revealed under hypnosis was astonishing, and terrifying. Both Betty and Barney recounted being taken aboard the craft by the strange beings they had seen through the windows. They described being separated and subjected to medical examinations. Betty recalled lying on a table while the beings used strange instruments to examine her, including a long needle inserted into her navel. Barney, meanwhile, described a device being placed over his groin, as if the beings were collecting samples. The beings communicated with them, not through words, but through a kind of telepathy. At one point, Betty asked where they were from, and in response, one of the beings showed her a star map. Later, she drew the map from memory, and years afterward, an amateur astronomer named Marjorie Fish analyzed it. Fish claimed the map matched the Zeta Reticuli star system, a binary star system located about 39 light-years from Earth. This detail added a layer of intrigue to the story, as it suggested the beings might have come from a specific, distant location in the universe. The Hill case quickly gained national attention after it was published in a 1965 book titled The Interrupted Journey by John G. Fuller. It was also featured in a 1975 TV movie called The UFO Incident, which brought the story to an even wider audience. Betty and Barney Hill's experience raises profound questions about the nature of reality, the limits of human understanding, and the possibility of life beyond Earth. Were they truly visited by beings from another world, or was their encounter a product of their own minds? To this day, no one knows for sure, but their story continues to captivate and intrigue anyone who hears it. If you want more stories that'll keep you on the edge of your seat, like this video and subscribe. Stay tuned for what's coming next.